Okami, a game that offers a unique health and wellness journey tailored to your specific well-being needs, featuring integrated gameplay as well as holistic and result-driven narratives. This game is committed to providing you with insight to a better, healthier lifestyle through spatial offerings, including private stone treatment, stunning aromatic steam rooms, luxurious changing areas. Okay, I've never played Okami. In fact, I'm literally reading an about us page for a DC spa and just replacing certain words to make my take on the game sound believable. Was I believable? Welcome everybody to my whatever this series is called, where I take a deep dive, like maybe 5 inches deep, into my latest Phonk remixes of songs, music, anthems from your favorite anime and video games like Legend of Zelda, which you should definitely check out my Ocarina of Time Phonk remix right after this video. Or now. I prefer it now. Today I'll be covering my Okami Phonk remix. For this beat, I used vocals from the song Covered in Money from the rapper Future. And before you say it, yes, you, I, everybody else on this bitch of an earth has heard these vocals be used time and time again, but you know what? The flow, fire, the tempo, magma. I don't know why I'm making a big deal out of this. Nobody's making a big deal out of this. I need help. But before that, make sure to like and subscribe for more videos like this. Like I said, I've never played Okami in my life, but from what I understand, it's a pretty beloved game, and it seems like a game I could get into, because if you didn't know, I guess you can say I'm an enthusiast, almost sort of a die-hard fan when it comes to Japanese culture, and traditional Japanese music, well, just traditional Asian music in general, is beautiful. This game's got a lot of that. My favorite thing about the sample is how it transitions between multiple stages in the first 30 seconds or so. It starts off on an ominous note, almost like a warning not to rush into this forest, because it could screw you over like that swamp in Avatar clapping that one bird's cheeks. Then it switches to this feeling of you finally trekking through the forest, and you're clinging on tightly to the warning in the back of your mind. So every part of your surroundings feels like they're out to get you. The world is your enemy for the next 5 seconds. You're realizing that, yes, you are living on this bitch of an earth. Or made-up earth. I don't know where Okami takes place. Probably in Bikini Bottom or some shit. And finally, you reach the heart of the Agata Forest, and oh my god! It's the most beautiful, wondrous, mystical, non-polluted by oil company landscape you've witnessed, and you say to yourself, thank God I live on this bitch of a Bikini Bottom. That's why I made this beat into 3 alternating sections just to play out the beginning, middle, and end emotions of storytelling the song delivers. Because of that, I chopped those parts off and made them loop on their own lane. Once I was done laying down the sample parts of the song, I consolidated the track, which basically means fusing all of the chops into one audio clip. This really helps you save CPU power when you're working in FL Studio, and you can do this by right-clicking on the timeline on the playlist where you see the numbers and dragging it either left or right depending on which parts of the sample you want to consolidate. Then you right-click the track panel on the left side and you'll see Consolidate Track. You want to go to the time selection and press start, and that's pretty much it. Mixer, I added a parametric EQ since the sample contains a lot of low frequencies, but not all of it, just enough to give the kick and the 808 some room. And I added a compressor to control the really loud peaks of the sample. I added some Valhalla Vintage reverb and added a 3D limiter so I could sidechain with the kicks. I added some plucks from Omnisphere using the preset Alpha Organic Key to create some melodies to accompany the sample, especially with the parts that didn't have a whole lot. I added parametric EQ, cutting a lot of the lows, a tiny bit of the highs, and boosted some of the high mid-frequencies so it could cut through the sample, but not to the point where it overtakes it. Then I added a delay effect and reverb to add more flair to it, I guess. Here's the kick I used. I made 4 to 8 bar kick patterns for the beginning, middle, and end section. No parallel compression this time, this is just a simple parametric EQ2 and some soft clipper. I layered 1 snare sample and 1 clap sample, and for certain parts of the song, I kept playing around and cutting the notes to basically up the momentum and energy. When it comes to those things, there's really no set formula. It's just a feeling and knowing instinctively when to add and take away stuff. I usually layer 2 hi-hat samples, but this time I just used one since it works. It gets the job done quickly, so you don't have to worry about stuffing your beats with layers upon layers of hi-hats, snares, or kicks, if that's a thing. So for the most part, I got 3 perks going on. A triangle, a rim, and some shakers. And after the snare hits, I put the triangle in to add some rhythm in the higher frequencies, almost like a flavor bonus, since without the triangles, it kind of sounds boring, at least to me. Shakers were added mostly for aesthetics because I wanted to add some acoustic sounds to the traditional vibe of the sample. Here's a cool thing I wanted to bring attention. It's the transition between the, I guess, second act and third act of the beat. Compared to the sample from the first and second section of the beat, the sample from the third sounds absolutely different. Like I mentioned earlier, the sample for the third act is essentially this sigh of relief that you made it to a safe, beautiful refuge along the future. This is basically the plot to Jumanji 4. In that spirit, I wanted to take the moment to make the transition between the second and third sections something special, something I feel is worthwhile because it's basically just a vibe, but a vibe that transports you to your final destination of the song. So I added in a Fruity Love Filter automation clip with a simple triangle low pass LFO preset, so that way the sounds from the second act fade away and disappear in this sort of atmospheric way so that there's a seamless transition into the sample of the third act. That's pretty much all I wanted to cover for this beat. I'm particularly proud of this remix because normally I don't attempt to create a story with my music in whatever capacity, be it simple or deep, you know. The sample really gave me that inspiration to try it out and see how it turned out, and I think I at least deserve a C+ in that department.